Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Night Music Show. We are here with Eric, who's now from Mass, and John, who's still from Mass, Jay, who used to be from Mass, and Kevin from Ohio. How are you guys doing tonight?
All right.
Good.
What's going on?
There's a Mass in the house tonight.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try something tonight. I don't know how far we're going to get with it, but I thought I'd give it a try. Something I've been thinking about today is the conversation we had last night about grouping songs together. The example we were doing last night off camera was Yacht Rock. And we were talking about, kind of finding a baseline and building songs around it. And that's kind of how we program. If we can tonight, forget about beat mixing and just talk about putting songs together that sound right together, as if you were going to hear them on the radio or something. I thought it would be interesting to maybe not create a new genre, but to throw out a song and see if our fellow DJs in the room could build around that with songs that kind of sound like it might belong, songs that might belong together. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so for instance, just as an example, if I were to say Bee Gees Staying Alive, maybe you could think of songs that kind of sound like they might go with Bee Gees Staying Alive, like, I don't know, some other disco song or some other R&B track or something to that nature. That kind of makes sense to you. That's what we were going to try to do. So does anybody want to try to kick this off, or should I throw out the first example and see how we do with this?
This is the first example.
Okay, here's the first one. I
Sure.
thought this one would be relatively easy in my brain. How about this? Let's build songs that sound like they would go with Earth, Wind, and Fire's September.
Okay.
Does anybody have a song in mind?
Show Me Love, Robin S.
Why?
Same tempo. Well, you said not beat mix, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to beat mix this. I was trying to just find songs that sound like they make sense with that song. So if you were playing September by Earth, Wind, and Fire, and you wanted to find something else with that same general vibe, what would it be? What would be a good choice?
Keep It Coming Love, Casey and the Sunshine Band.
That's a good choice. Anybody else?
Not all at once.
Yeah. All right. If we're just trying to, again, not beat mixing and not worrying about mixed
Right.
and all this
Yeah, I
stuff.
was
just
worried
something
about
that would-
beat mixing.
No, don't
Yeah.
worry about beat mixing. We're
Yeah,
just we're finding songs that
immediately-
go together.
When you said that, I was already trying to put the next.
Now, forget about this.
26
This
in
is
my
the
head.
fun part, because we're always trying to beat mix songs, and we're trying to determine the next song on its BPM. How about we don't do that, and we just determine on the vibe itself?
Something that's going to come out of it.
Yeah.
Well,
If you get the energy of September playing, you could do something like the Four Seasons, and it would be December '63. Oh, What a Night has that same kind of uplifting, get everybody on the floor kind of vibe.
How about you, Jay?
Well, I did like everyone else. I think I went right to I'm going to do a Pitbull track, or I'm going to go into the next Earth, Wind, and Fire song. If I'm just vibing out, because it's a favorite disco track of mine, I would go
vibe
with
is what I wanted to say at the top of the show. By the way,
Vibe.
trying to find songs with the same vibe. Thank you.
I would go with Peter Brown, Dance With Me.
Ooh.
Just because I love that track, and I think it's got a vibe, and you don't hear it enough. And if you're not beat matching, once the next track starts, if you're in the pocket of the point, I think people forgive, I wonder why, this song's dope. I like this. Like, they go on to the next track. If you're not beat mixing, I think people are much more forgiving.
Yeah, so when you're blending, it's like even Get Off Boxy, I think, will come out of September.
When I mentioned September, I guess where my brain immediately went was, what genre does it fit in? Some could argue it's disco, but I think they coined a phrase back in the 90s called disco funk. And there were some stuff that was also disco funk, like Emotions Best of My Love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
everything by Sylvester is disco funk.
Well,
a lot of it.
Well, Cheryl Lynn, To Be Real.
That's funky.
Yeah.
You could even argue then you could go into that Lil Boo thing. I mean, you could just go on and on with it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But those are songs that you could build vibe wise around that track. So
Well,
if you play September and they love it, hey, what else could we play? September's a hard song to follow up, by the way.
it's a great track to transition back down almost. It's a good
September.
ending fast track
Yeah.
because it's so big.
A lot of energy and
It's
there's an
like
expectation.
either
in
you
that
got
one.
to keep going high, or it's a good
Right.
way to suddenly go.
Exactly.
Right.
You're coming out with like Born to
and
Be
come
Alive or
back.
something
Exactly.
behind
There
it
you
or
go.
something.
September's
Yeah,
always a
knock on
forefront.
wood and stuff like that, where you're like, oh, this is going to be high energy for a bit, and then you've got nowhere to go, and you're like,
Kevin's got something.
It's probably out off the wall, but when I play September, it's usually towards the end of the night, so it sort of gets more into a group kind of, more mellow. So I sort of gravitate into like a sing along
Okay.
or one. So I a lot of times will roll in around Sweet Caroline,
I was just
Okay.
gonna, but I was waiting for
Journey.
Stop Believing.
Yeah, Don't Stop Believing. That's sort of like my sort of sing along, winding down. We're having a nice, slow, chill
Yeah.
vibe. We're slowing up for the end, coming.
And you're right. You could look at it like that too. Hey, I'm thinking of it as a sing along song. So you took it a different direction, which is cool. That's how you do it. How can I group this song with other songs? You grouped it as a sing along. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Would anybody else like to throw out a track and see if the class can build around it? Could be anything.
Pitbull anthem.
Now,
Okay.
Where it's just it's got that beat that just goes straight through the track.
Okay. Well,
how about Hot Stuff on a Summer?
That'd be
Anything
great.
else Pitbull mixes with Pitbull.
Or anything else, Pitbull. Yeah.
anything else Pitbull misses
Oh
with
yeah,
Pitbull?
anything
Yeah.
Pitbull will go. Yeah, but
Number one answer.
That's it.
Anything else, Pitbull.
Well, that's it. Wow, it's
Yeah.
the longest Pitbull song ever. Yeah, that was like 8 songs in a row. So it's
When I think of that kind of stuff, there's so many things that I feel like go with it. I mean, anything EDM goes with anything else EDM, I think. So, like, I don't know. I think I would look at things like Rihanna, We Found Love. Then
Yeah.
just
All
another,
right.
same
Yeah,
vibe.
a lot of
sort
energy.
thing.
Yeah.
It's vibe. That beat
Right.
makes me get just vibe in it.
It's not that titanium vibe. It's that
Right. Right.
You know.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, where you're
Titanium's
just
kind of
staying.
a sleeper and it kind of creeps in on you and then it gets
Exactly. It's
That's
like, wait,
almost
where
a
did this
sing-along.
come from?
because
Yeah,
I
it
play
is.
that and all the ladies will start singing along with that. And Chandelier's the same way. But it's
100%.
not super energy, but
Nope.
it wakes everybody up if they're quiet. So
100%.
using for that.
see, the problem with doing this is that next track, everybody has to know in that first 2 to 3 beats. Well, it's gonna clear.
Well, you're thinking, you know what it is, Eric? You're doing what I'm doing. We're both thinking dancing,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but we're not.
We're not doing that.
I think in the case
I'm
what
thinking
Brian's trying to
actual-
accomplish
yeah.
is pretend there's no dance floor.
Okay, I'm thinking.
So that's more the vibe.
Yeah.
I am
All right,
too.
got
I'm thinking dance
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah.
I better. That's when he said September. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go
Yeah,
either
vibe.
Fast Pitbull or I'm going to go.
So it doesn't have to be the same
Calvin
BPM,
Harris.
Yeah.
but same folder. It's
But when it becomes a vibe, almost like a Twitch set, now it's like you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, that's an interesting. I mean,
That actually makes it easier when you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
pretend there's no dance floor.
Yeah.
once
right.
you can deprogram yourself from beat mixing and dancing, you're going to be able to group
I wasn't
songs
looking
together.
at. I wasn't looking at beat. I was looking at.
He's looking at the dance floor.
Right.
Eric, do you have a track that you'd like us to try to build around?
All right. I'll
Anything.
I'll throw Ladies Night, Cool in the Gang, just for
Oh,
the hell.
nice.
Now, what would you come out of that with that vibe? Now, remember, and it don't matter because the pitch.
Right. We're not beat mixing. We're just trying to find vibe. I would go straight to Chic. I would find a Chic song.
Good times.
Well, I could do Good Times or I could do La Freak.
Freak out. That's great. Yeah. Yeah.
I could do that. That would be the first thing that come to mind. But I think I'd serve. Well, I don't want to blow all of this, but I think I would gravitate more closer to Sister Sledge. I think maybe it's got more of that funky thing going on. It's still Chic, but
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Anybody else flipping around Ladies Night Cool in the Gang?
Funky, got that
same vibe.
approach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I might go
let's
with an
talk about
LTD
sex,
track.
salt and pepper.
Okay.
Kind of the same
Yeah.
groove.
What
That
did
works.
you
Funky.
say, Jay?
What's
I was
it?
going to say, shit. Now I
Right.
forgot.
I think you said LTD.
I
You
did.
put it away.
I did say LTD.
You did? You blew me away when you
Every
said,
time I turn around back in love again.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, nice.
Because I don't think that's a disco track. And I think sometimes
No, it's
when
a
you
funk track.
break genres and you kind of take things a little to the left or right, I think it's appreciated as far as creating a vibe.
Sure.
Sweet.
A disco group will appreciate a funk song thrown in, almost like a
Yeah.
breather. It's just a little change of pace, and it's still accepted as disco.
I mean, we all agreed last night Rubber Band Man is a yacht rock song, but yet
Yeah.
it's a funk song, but
I don't know
it's
why it is,
kind
but
of
it is.
disco song.
R&B disco song too.
I mean, who knows?
On
You
the
play that,
back.
who knows
Yeah.
where you're going?
You know where my brain's going on this too, Eric?
What's that?
I don't know why, but I keep wanting to say Queen, Another One Bites the Dust.
I could see that.
I
got
like
that funky
I like that
beginning.
in the same universe, you know?
It totally
I had
makes
another
sense.
one for that song.
I had that coming out of your Staying Alive, the first song you said on the show. I'm like, oh,
There
yeah,
you go. Then that would you should have said it.
Well, we weren't. That wasn't a category. That was a
And it's
warm up.
nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to do like ladies' night, or like a which is known as disco, perhaps, and then you go into a rock song, and you can get the same vibe from a rock song too. You know.
Yep.
And then Another One Bites the Dust. To me, that's rock.
That's funny. The first one that came to mind, I'm in my head. I'm going pop, 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 and I went to Joanna. I'm like, oh, wait, that's Cool in the Gang too. No.
Sure.
That's okay. That's
Wait a second.
actually okay. I mean,
That's like the Pitbull thing. It's like that's
What do
the
you
same
got?
kind of.
What do you got there, Kevin? I know you're itching.
I don't know. I hadn't really thought of that one. Nothing really popped into my head.
well, do you have a
Really?
track that you'd like us to try to build around?
Trying to think, was there anything for this wedding that?
Well, I wouldn't worry about any of that. I'm just talking in general.
No, can't really think of anything.
All right.
All right.
I mean,
Here's
there's all
one that
songs in the world, but
Well, here's one that I threw out last night that has a definite vibe to it, I think. A real specific vibe. And you can think of it in the category as probably synth pop, but not all synth pop goes together, I don't believe. Some does, though. And the track I was thinking would be interesting to build around would be Gary Newman's Cars.
Nice.
What's like Gary Newman's Cars? What sounds like it came from the same planet as Gary Newman's Cars?
It did sound like another planet back
Yeah.
then. It's like, whoa, what is
Believe
that?
it or not, I'm going to say the Cramps, Garbage Man. Now, that sounds completely out of left field, and it's coming to me because I'd seen those two videos back to back probably 20 times
Uh-huh.
on a TV show back in the late 70s. And they would follow, they didn't do it programming wise, that's what they had.
Uh-huh.
And they would play Cars, and then they would somehow end up, like the next track would always seem to be the Cramps, Garbage Man. And I know they're two entirely different things, but I think when you create a vibe, it's sometimes like giving people directions. Like, okay, start here. When you go down the hall, turn left. Sometimes the next song is the vibe turning left. Does that make sense?
Well, that's segueing.
You're going another direction.
But it's not as much segueing as just like, this is where the vibe is going. Like, yeah, it's segueing, I guess.
We started here, but we're leaving and going there.
like the vibe is going here.
Yeah.
It's still the vibe, but it's just, yeah.
When I think of Gary Newman's Cars, I mean, just personally, I'm thinking Berlin, the Metro.
I mean, and from a
sounds like it
synth
goes
standpoint,
with that.
yeah, 100%.
Heavy synth, heavy percussive. You know, it's like what a Devo. You get like something like
Yes.
jerking back and forth, or
There you go. Devo's perfect.
but not like working in a coal mine. It would have to be
Now,
something.
do the
really
girl you
synthy.
want.
Girl you want is good.
You can even do Soundgarden girl you want, but you don't have the synth.
But that's just because Cars is just kind of quirky, jerky, and it's, you know, it's, if you're building a crate around that, it's almost cut from the cloth like video when the radio star with the bubbles, right? And
Buggles.
it's that all, but that's just time stamped though, and that's why it would make sense being there, because that's when music stopped being, you know, 4-piece.
What about
bands, ballads.
Ultravox Sleepwalk?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, super synthy,
Yeah.
Kraftwerk. If the theme of the vibe is synthy,
Well, I'm just trying to think of something that goes. I mean, it's a synth pop song, but I would argue that not all synth pop songs belong with that. What goes well with it?
I could think
I don't know.
of
Maybe this is a weird show. I shouldn't even have suggested. I guess. It's
I can think of two. One is synth pop, and another, it's going a different direction, but I think it would work going out of this. One, of course, M pop music.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
The second one, you guys may disagree, but the Boston guys in the room may say, yeah, okay, Touch and Go by the Cars.
Absolutely. Yeah, that panorama stuff is very new wave-ish.
You're
Those
even
are
making
two that came to my
You're making me think of Der Kommissar too.
Oh my God, I love that one.
Yeah. For some reason, that's now popping in my head.
Which one? After the Fire or Falco?
After the Fire.
I think After the Fire.
Yeah, that's the American one.
Yeah.
And I think it's more appropriate in this case. The production's better.
Yeah.
But for that sound, like you're talking about, Brad, these are like stabby synths. This isn't like I ran so far away, flock of seagulls synth. It's different.
Right. That's different.
It's
It's
different. Different pigeonhole.
I mean,
this is more the robotic thing.
Yeah.
That was big there for a second. Would anyone else like to throw a track out there?
I think we're sticking to a genre, and I think I'm going to break it a little bit. How about Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith?
There you go.
Okay. That one's just that specific song, not Aerosmith as a group, but that specific
specific song, because I think that creates a vibe on its own.
Okay, I'm going to, right off the top of my head, Rick Derringer, Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
Yeah, I could see that.
If it? That was 74. That's right around the same time. What was that?
You know what I would do?
Emotion 75, 6?
75, I think.
Yeah.
It's aggressive.
It's that same period of time.
Well, it's that isn't what I was thinking. I was thinking of the aggressive guitar in it.
Yeah.
Because Sweet Emotion has a very aggressive guitar in it. I always felt.
Yeah, true.
And so does Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo has a very aggressive guitar lick and a very iconic guitar lick, and that's why I thought of it. It's the hook. Not the tempo or anything else, but the hook of the guitar is where I took my brain to that one.
Oh, see, now you just made me rethink my answer.
Guitar hooky songs.
But if you go,
yeah, I was gonna say like the breakup song, Greg Kinn. Sadly, he just passed, and that's just kind of got that guitar-driven, rock follow.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change my answer.
That's good.
I'm not.
I might do the Hawks. It's all right, and
whatever that is,
Shazam, and not find
Great
the song.
You never heard that one? Go listen to that one. It's catchy and it'll be stuck in your head for
it's guitar driven and it's got a hook.
What were you thinking, Eric?
I'm not going to change my. I'm going to go with what popped up. And remember, Jay, you were just saying sometimes you make a left.
Yeah,
I'm going to make a left here. I'm going to go Steelers wheel stuck in the middle with you.
I can see it.
I do. I think that would
But
the
again,
tempo isn't much. I mean, if you go that route,
tempo's about the same.
If you're doing a deep house set, there's rules. Everything's going to be between 122 and 126.
Right. Yeah,
and they're going to be similar. And in an hour, you're not going to know if I've switched songs. But I think when you create a vibe, I think it's up to you to be a little like, okay, everyone, kind of handsome. Start this way.
Surprise.
They don't see the oven coming, but eventually it's going to be there.
You're the leader, and you got to be creative. And if they follow, great. If not,
sure. What made
if
sense
they all
of all
started
those rock
banging
songs?
their heads, you might suddenly go, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to throw AC/DC on because everyone's going like this."
Yeah, but everything you picked was smooth. It's rock driven, but they're all really radio friendly rock songs. Everything that we picked in that, so
that's the vibe, I guess. Yeah, that's the direction we went with the vibe. Yeah,
rock and roll fantasy.
Badco, that'd be great.
Like, it's all kind of that, radio friendly.
That's a great track.
That stuff.
John, do you have something you'd like us to try to build around?
These should be the tough one and give you guys like Billie Eilish or something.
Yeah,
Don't give me that.
I'd be out on that. Really, just
no.
I might take a pass on that one.
No.
Well, I mean, we don't have to go absolute top 10 Billboard today, but we should probably do something from this century at some point.
Yeah,
just to show we're not that old.
Yeah, but that's almost too easy. I mean, because everything is Me Too.
Yeah.
When we're looking at music, Nelly does a song. Hey, I do one like that too. Hey, me too. Hey, me too. And now you've got a radio station playing the same damn song.
Can't argue that.
Greatest form of flattery.
It's the older stuff that everything was different, and that's why this is harder looking back at the older stuff.
I'm not the biggest fan of Billie Eilish anyway.
No, just as an example.
It was just throwing it out.
We're all playing that.
That was a funny joke.
Yeah.
I got a track for you if you know. Oh, go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
I did have one, and this would be interesting to put a pocket around because you can go so many different directions. Is D Light's Groove is in the Heart.
Oh my
Yeah, that is a really good one.
because it's a bunch of things. So, but you guys just come up with what
The first
I
one that
would
comes
do-
to mind for
Go
me
ahead, Brian.
on that one is by a group called Urban Dance Squad, and it's called Deeper Shade of Soul. Does anybody remember that track?
Nope.
It was hot around the same time, but it had the same kind of quirky sample vibe to it. Slower, but that's the first one that comes to mind.
See, we're all quick to answer this. Jay, did you say something real quick too?
I didn't. So you go and then I'll go.
I'm thinking Tony Tone feels good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah.
Totally works.
Yeah.
I might be slowing it up a little bit. For some reason, Estelle, American Boy came to mind.
How about
Yeah.
CC Pennis and what track was I thinking of by her? Not Finally.
Now, I was thinking finally.
We Got a Love Thing. That's the one I was thinking of.
Well, who said Robin S earlier? I mean,
I did earlier. I mean, that
I could see Robin S falling in that,
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
pocket. Unless you want it to go faster, and then it's like, okay, we got to bring the BPM up.
because it's kind of a throwback. It's an odd pigeonhole of a song considering like where it landed on the time of things because it's funky. It's got kind of like a callback like to 70s funk
Yeah.
a bit. So it's like you could take that, like we said earlier, back to Sylvester or back to Foxy or
and you
something
can even
sure.
go another one bites the dust again out of that one, I think.
that's like O Positive blood. It mixes with everything.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It really does.
No, you're right. I mean, you can kind of do anything you want.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm hearing the song, I'm hearing it fade out, and I'm hearing the next song start. Like you were listening to Spotify.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow, okay, all of these things would work. It
Right,
would
said
totally make
Fred.
sense. Yeah, I'm Too Sexy would work.
Yeah,
just fine.
that's kind of an odd little quirky one for the
I'm
same.
too sexy.
Again,
Unbelievable, right? Remember
100%.
Yeah,
EMF? EMF.
I think there's certain times where music was vastly similar, or there was enough, like Brian saying about Today It's All Me Too. I think there were periods where there was so much good music around a certain, they're all doing 122. Let's jump on there. You know, you look back at those like MTV Clubs CDs I used to get in the 90s where it was like, wow, these are all bangers and they're all roughly about the same BPM.
I just feel like that, some of the more, I mean, even from this century, a lot of the music, the game is not to stand out. The game is to blend in. It just feels like that's kind of where the labels have taken things.
They totally have.
And that didn't used to be the game. The game was to stand out.
To be
The
original.
game was to come up with the new thing.
Now it's be marketable and don't.
Well, now
Be
it's
like
much
everyone
harder.
else. Not let's
Fit the
all
mix.
play well together. No, let's shake it up and do something goofy.
It's very difficult today. It's very hard to hear a song and get it right the first time because it's like, is this that new Drake track? No, this is
Exactly.
Quavo from Migos, and
Yeah.
this is Ray Shermerd. It's like, who?
Well, we
Like,
were talking last night about reggaeton. It's like ever since Gasolina came out by Daddy Yankee, every reggaeton song has sounded just like Gasolina.
yeah, because
It's
it
got the same
worked.
drum beat on it. It hasn't changed
No.
in 25 years or 20 years.
That
whatever it's been.
song still works for me.
Oh, yeah, it's a great song, but every other reggaeton song has the exact same beat, same tempo. Everything else, the shout out at the beginning is different, and whatever they're blabbing about's different, but it's the same beat.
100%.
Look what Eminem did with Houdini. He brought up 3 of his past great hits, all in one, and then turned it into abracadabra with new lyrics.
Yeah.
But he had to start it with all the familiar big ones that he did. And I think he did it purposely, like, okay, guess who's back,
Right.
and-
Oh yeah, totally deliberate because that's
But he didn't
instantly
have to do
recognizable
that.
that way.
Right.
It's like, oh, this is Eminem. It's got to be, whether you knew it or not.
and
Well,
that's what
you-
these newer artists are doing.
Dre and
Oh,
Snoop.
Yeah.
Within the first 4 bars, you're like, oh, that's a Dre track.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Snoop track because they found their formula and they're like,
Right.
here you go.
I guess
I'm
that's why I'm
sticking to
not
this.
encouraging a lot of new tracks. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
exclude that, but I'm just saying that's pretty easy to do. It's harder to do with the older stuff.
Oh,
Well,
much-
here's one in the middle because it's this century, but it came to mind earlier, and now it's stuck in my head. It's one of those earworm tracks, and it's a track by Kevin Randolph called "Let It Rock."
Oh, I remember
It
that
had
track. I
Lil
love that
Wayne
track.
on it, I love it too, but I loved it because nothing around it sounded like it.
Right.
It came at a time when everything was going this way, and all of a sudden this Let It Rock song came over here, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell is this?
That was a hell of a good track.
Yeah, and it
And
didn't sound
yeah.
like anything.
No, it didn't. You're right. It absolutely didn't. And when I think of that song for some dumb reason, I'm thinking Fetty Legrand. Let me think about it. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but I am.
no, but that's the funny thing. It's definitely a rock track, but it has a beat.
It would be like I like the way you move.
Yo, great track.
Who the hell did that?
Body Rockers.
Body Rockers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's got that like 4-minute intro that finally builds to like
mumbling, and then it kicks
mumbling,
into
talking. I like
it's rock and it's weird. I mean, it doesn't sound like anything else.
No.
the
It's
other
kind of
one. I
fun.
like the way you move.
That's the one I was thinking
That's
too. That was
Outcast.
Outcast.
I like the way you move.
Okay, right.
Yeah, that's Outcast.
That's the one I was thinking.
That would really work with this as well.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the what's his name?
Big Boy.
What's the
Andre.
track I'm thinking of? Outcast featuring somebody Brown.
Hey, yeah.
No, not Hey Ya. They had a track that every once in a while gets thrown into a wedding.
Yeah, that's the that's the one.
Is that
the
like
singer is that guy? Yeah.
Yeah, it's something Brown. I can't remember his first name.
Yeah, it's because he's the
Not
vocal
Foxy, but it's
It's got a very
it's almost like a throwback funk track a little bit.
that song to me when I hear the chorus of that song, like when I hear that song, it's a hip hop song, but when it hits the chorus, all of a sudden, it's like a Latin salsa song.
Is that the one that goes Caroline? By them?
No, that's
No.
Roses.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry, but again, that song changes too.
No, you can hear the brass section with the ba-da-ba coming in, and it sounds very.
The way you move is
Latino
very
feel.
salsa, or it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
maybe a slow merengue or something. It's just
I
a
love
really,
salsa.
it's got a Latin vibe to it in the chorus, not the rest of the song. When Big Boy's doing his rap, it's just very hip hop, and then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, Latin. We're in Miami.
Yeah, an interesting turn. Right. And
Yeah.
that you can either stay in the groove if it's working, or you can jump to Latin and get out because now you got an exit strategy.
I almost wish that there was a song that was just more built around the chorus and bridge of that song that eliminated the Big Boy part, because I thought it was a great track to play for in Latin sets.
Yeah, I'd give you that. Yeah, it definitely makes the vibe.
But anybody else have anything else?
I was thinking of one you guys can build on.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go 70s with it, just
Sure.
for the heck of it. How about Long Tall Glasses, Leo Sayer, just for the heck of it? And I'm just throwing this out there.
You know, I'll let me sound like Jay here, but I'll be honest. I'm not. I mean, is that the one we're talking about? I Can Dance.
Yes, I can dance. Sure.
You played it in here for us, but I can't
Yeah,
recall
he's
it
played it.
too well.
All right, so if not everybody's familiar with that,
I'm having a tough
Well,
time.
you know, the
remembering
only thing I
vibe
can
of
think
it.
of that kind of sounds like that would be like Mungo Jerry in the summertime,
yes, you're right.
because that was like the jug band kind of vibe thing going on with that one.
Yeah. But this song is another one that does, and we had another show about this where it does different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's never the same within the whole song. And I forgot to bring this up when we did that show. I thought about it after, like we always do, right? We think, oh, God, that would have worked.
Yeah.
But so I figured I'd throw it out tonight for the hell of it. But if not everybody's familiar with that track, it's a
Kevin,
great-
what? Just say it, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Kevin's ready. Go, roll.
I got a crazy song that if you guys can build around this,
No, stump the DJ. Let's have it.
One Night in Bangkok.
Oh,
That's a nice song.
yeah.
After the Fire, the Commissar.
There you go. That's a great one. Yep.
That
Putting on
song
the
is so,
Ritz.
but Kevin's right, because that song is really unique.
Yeah.
There's not a
Actually-
lot that sounds like it.
Actually, you know what,
spoken word
Kevin?
poetry
If you
almost.
played that and I had to pick the next song, I'd play Michael Penn. What is it? No Myth.
I don't even know what that is.
Yes, you do. Yes,
What?
you do.
We'll play
No
it
Myth.
I'll have to listen later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you hear it and think of Last Night in Bangkok, you'll see why. But I genuinely would go with that, with Michael Penn, No Myth.
I might
I
do
don't know
like
why.
I might do something off. Actually, I don't know why, but I'm almost thinking like some kind of like Art of Noise track or something. It's
Really?
just the way
Not
it stabs.
Not Kiss, right? Maybe.
No, no,
oh.
no. That's not where I was thinking. I was thinking something off maybe Into Battle, but yeah, then again, maybe not. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a good one, but it's a tough one.
I don't know why. I was thinking Susudio, Phil Collins.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's a great choice.
That would work.
That's a
I don't know
really
why.
good choice.
That was the first thing that came. Like, what am I going to do next?
It's got that kind of electric
Yeah.
hit. It's
Yeah.
I don't even know what. It's almost like little zap sound that comes in.
I think that would fit the vibe. I
I
don't
guess,
know.
well, back
you
on the
hear an
beats
electro.
again. I'd say Relax, Frankie Goes to Hollywood would follow that boom, boom, boom.
Only if you
going
had
on
the
with it.
T-shirt to wear.
Only if you have the t-shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that would be a good one too. That would
Frankie
absolutely
Goes
be a
Black.
really good one. I like that.
You know, because that's
I like
another
that.
quirky one that's just got kind of that tempo and kind of, it's the same time
Yeah.
period.
I bet we can all
right.
pick one more to go with this too. That's a great choice, Kevin. By the way, because you kind of go anywhere with that if you think about it.
would-
Well, yeah. Go ahead, Gavin.
I guess because it's a lot of just sort of talking in the song.
It's a rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether, I was trying to go with another song that does a lot of talking, like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, what else does that kind of white
what
boy
song?
rap thing? Wham rap does it.
Yeah.
What else was I thinking of that does it? You know, that West End Girls Pet Shop Boys does it, but it's a very different vibe. Blondie's Rapture does it.
Well, she's in and
What
out.
Rocky Horror song, Kevin?
The main one.
Time Warp is what he's thinking.
Time Warp.
Time
That's
Warp?
right.
Time off.
Yeah, because they're kind of speaking. They're not really singing. It's astounding. Time is fleeting.
Sort of the
It's not really a sing. It's more of a talk.
That's a weird one though, because that breaks
That's a
the
weird
fourth
one to
wall and
throw
jumps
in
out of
there.
time. Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
I don't know. I can see his point. He's going there with it, and that's cool.
Right.
He's going with spoken word songs. So then you start thinking about spoken word songs.
And then how
Because
many?
it's not really rap. It's more, well, that one is kind of a rap, but the spoken word stuff works really well with it too.
Yeah.
There's another act out there that I was thinking about, and you almost got me thinking, Kevin, that it would work really well with this One Night in Bangkok because of that, would be the LA Dream Team. They were a rap electro group back around the same time One Night in Bangkok came out.
Oh, okay.
Stuff that you heard at like skating rinks and clubs and on late night cool radio stations. But they did a lot of, and they sampled a lot of Kraftwerk in their songs. So it's a lot faster, and it's not nearly as cool and smooth as One Night in Bangkok, but it's kind of got that same vibe you're looking at.
Now, if I'm doing One Night in Bangkok, which is like a top rap,
You're doing One Night in Bangkok, yeah. I mean, don't tell your wife.
knock it off. She knows. That's why I'm out here tonight. But no, not she, but One Night in Bangkok, it's like a talk rap, which is great, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to take it to the next level and do Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang, I think.
You could do that.
Which makes it a little more high. I don't know. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer.
Right. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
we were talking about building Yacht Rock, like establishing what is Yacht Rock. We were trying to establish a baseline
Right.
when we did this. So the first thing
And that was real interesting last night, by the way.
Well, the first thing I thought was, okay, if we're going to do that, let's pick Michael McDonald as the baseline. So pretty much anything this man touches, we know is Yacht Rock. Well, who else is like that? Well, some Kenny Loggins stuff is like that. Not all of it, but some of it.
Yeah.
And then who else is like that? Well, John said, hey, Christopher Cross. I'm like, okay, here's our baseline.
Yeah.
So let's build around that. Let's find songs that go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on where you go with the One Night in Bangkok song depends on your vibe you build. And there's multiple ways you can do it, and that's what makes it interesting.
Right.
Just like
I might even come out of it with Shannon and Henry Gross. I don't know. And that's an inside joke for people
Of
that
course
are
it is.
watching.
For the people that attend recordings, yes.
Yeah.
Interesting exercise. Is there anything else that anyone else would like to discuss this evening before we turn this off? We've gone about a half hour. and we can do
We can
something
make it a
different.
short show, but yeah,
If
but
you'd like to.
also
Try something else, something you had on your mind, something you wanted to bring up, a question you had, anything at all? Being very democracy stuff here. You can all just throw stuff out there. Hey, I got an idea. Hey, I had a question.
Kevin, what do you got? I'm sure you got something. Ask a question. Ask it. Anything.
I got nothing right now.
All
Got
right.
nothing.
Sorry.
He's got nothing.
I got
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
I'm empty.
Nothing at all.
Yeah,
No, but an interesting exercise for sure. Just to have
yeah, that was
just
fun.
different ways to play things. You know, it's
Yeah. If you shackle yourself with rules, I think that's where it gets a little more difficult. Because
and
then
the
you're
music.
thinking about
The music itself could be the rule because if you look at what's in front of you and you take one turn, it's not working. Try something
I
else.
think the music itself is a rule, really.
You know.
Yeah,
Well,
we just program it.
Well, if you play this and then you always play that behind it and always play that behind
Yeah.
it, where's the creativity? Where's the
that's the fear.
take a risk, take a
You
chance?
you make the decision that this is the perfect song to play after that song, and then somebody else has made that same decision you've made because it's so incredibly obvious. Then everyone's doing the same transition. Everyone's playing the same songs back to back. I mean, the ones that I used to do, just thinking back, I always did We Got the Beat and Mickey together because they sounded right together.
Well, because
And everyone else did
They're
We
all
Got
part
the
of the
Beat
same
and
group.
Mickey together. Everyone did it
Yeah.
because it worked. It made sense.
it's always nice when it's cold and you go right into, hey.
Right, you can just slam it.
Right.
You didn't have to mix it. You
Yeah.
could slam it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So just on the one. Jay, you're muted.
I went hey ya into hey Mickey.
Oh,
You
there
can do
you go.
that.
At the end
but-
of hey ya, it's got that dun
Yep.
dun
Yep.
dun dun.
But I'm talking about before that happened. That's
Oh yeah,
y'all-
before
yeah, that's what we all did back in the 80s, 90s.
Yeah,
whenever
yeah.
That was something that was played.
100%.
But everyone else did it, so it was like, okay, well, the audience almost knows it's coming.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
Yeah, you
fun
don't want
to
to
throw
be
stuff out that they don't expect.
You don't
do
want to be
things that-
predictable either. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now you get that new Chappelle Roan song that sounds like Mickey too. So now you can add a third one, and that's from 2024.
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. There's other go-go songs you could use, but We Got the Beat was just so popular, and people knew
I
it.
loved Our Lips Are Sealed. That was one of my favorites. It wasn't that high tempo,
Mhm.
but I always loved that song.
Oh, I think it's a better song.
And Vacation, you know?
I loved Head Over Heels. That was my favorite go-go
Another
song. And
one.
I loved Our Lips Are Sealed as well. But We Got the Beat was the popular one because it was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Mm.
And that used to be a thing.
That got the most exposure.
Please.
Yeah. If you took the movie
Yeah.
and the song and could put them together, it was big.
And you needed to have that Mickey 45 handy because We Got the Beat's only like 2 minutes and 38 seconds long.
Yeah.
You need to get out somewhere to go quickly. So
Yeah.
Notice how John said the Mickey 45.
yes,
And
So here's where it got interesting.
name me another Tony Basil song.
I'm-
Mickey.
The
well, I
Spanish
had the
version.
I rest my case.
one too, but whatever.
Here's where I think it always got interesting. We're gonna do We Got the Beat. We're gonna follow it with Mickey. What's next?
Oh,
That's where it got fun.
We got the beat. You could follow that with anything.
Well,
because-
Mickey's what you follow We Got the Beat with. So what do you follow Mickey with? You've just done,
Oh, okay.
those
Now
two
we're gonna
songs.
go on with-
Now you're gonna do something else.
Yeah, it's. up
I know
there,
where
like
I
the
used to go,
140s.
and
Yeah.
it was completely a left turn, but people dug it because it was still rock, but it was unexpected. I did
I did
Eurythmics, What I Lie to You. That was my next song.
I did Whip It, Devo.
That's
Honest-
a really good one.
That fits it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
I
before.
would just go right into it. Because
In
everybody
fact, you could do
right-
Whip It, We Got the Beat, Mickey. You could do that.
That's a little
Right.
mega mix.
Yeah, yeah.
You could totally do that. That's a really good choice. And Whip It got some play. I don't think I threw it on a lot, but it got played once in a while.
Which one?
Whip It. When I was
It depends
DJing.
on the crowd. Yeah, it depends.
I mean, I remember buying it when it came out. I loved it. And the flip side of it was Girl You Want. And that was cool.
Whip It.
I would have bought that on a
Back
separate
when
one.
that was released, I had 45 of it, and then I bought a second 45, and I would see Whip It was like what 230.
Another short one. Yeah.
Right. and I would make that into a 5-minute song, you know, and then I would double it. Now whip it. Now whip it. Whip
Yeah.
it good. Whip it good. And then when it went into that break with the boom, boom,
And with
boom,
that one, I'm thinking,
I would
okay,
go back and forth and make that a minute long because
and
it
like
always back to floor.
we were talking about at the top of the show. I mean, that's Berlin the Metro for me. If you guys know that song,
Well, I know Berlin.
okay, the Metro, I'll play it for you. You'll see how it works really
There's
well
a
with Whip
couple we
It.
need to play tonight. One Jay said too. Yeah,
No
Uh,
myth.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm even thinking just can't get enough by Depeche Mode.
That's
Works
up there.
well with that too. You
That's
know,
another
so
quickie.
that's what I'm saying. You established the so our baseline is Mickey, Whip It, and
Oh,
Go Go's. We got the beat. What do you build around that?
Then, yeah.
That's you get the vibe. You know.
Then you play
Yeah.
Echo Beach from Arthur and the Muffins because that'll sit right in there too.
100%.
That's where I thought it was like fun, and you know, we don't have to give these groups of songs a name like Yacht Rock or whatever, but it's just fun to you can just do this. You don't have to, you know, it doesn't have to be like this discipline of Yacht Rock or roots rock or whatever the format happens to be. You can just or soft rock. You can just
at that point,
build the vibe. You know,
at that point, I'm willing to be a left or right, like Jay said way back in the show.
Mhm.
And I would start it with the drum beat of "Shook Me All Night Long." Boom, bow.
yeah,
You know, I mean, there's so many things you can do with those choices of what's in front of you.
hmm
And again, it always depends on what's in front of you on the floor. I
Right.
think
Right.
I'm always looking on the floor.
Yeah.
And I know we're not supposed to win this.
Well, no, for our purposes
But,
tonight, I
yeah.
didn't want you to just specifically be a slave to the dance floor. I wanted you to just create a vibe, and it could be people having cocktail. It could be people just chilling out, swimming in the swimming pool. It could be anything. When I played a song, people seemed to really like it. The energy level was good, whether they were dancing or having conversation or laughing or whatever, just talking. Let's keep this vibe going instead of changing the vibe to something else. Let's keep this vibe going. What would go well with what I just played?
I see myself. I wouldn't play Pitbull during a cocktail. So I mean, this is a hard. It's
Much
not
like
a hard,
Taxi.
it's kind of a tricky.
It demands attention.
Yeah, right.
Those kind of songs to me, I feel like they demand attention. They got a really heavy, bass going on, a real thumpy and even punchy bass going on. They demand your attention. Some songs are just there in the background and you're just enjoying them.
I got a couple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, one of them ties in because you were in the Go-Go's. If you guys know the song called Tangled by Jane Wheatland.
Yes.
Yes.
And then another one I had was Touch Me All Night Long by Kathy Dennis.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Touch me.
But yeah, there's no rules to this. It was just kind of a,
Well, that's
exercise
kind of
in
our
creating vibe.
yeah. That's our job. I mean, the vibe back in the day was you put a stack of 45s on the automatic dropper, and you got everything from Detroit Rock City to Beth to Barry Manilow to it's just all disconnected. We at least try to stitch it together that it makes some sort of cohesive sense, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
That's the job. It's always been the job.
to make it make sense so that someone can say, "Oh, I understand why he played this," and you didn't just jump out of left field from
Right. Well, if like I
the
was saying
Carpenters,
before, let's pretend you're DJing for an audience, and whether they're dancing or just having cocktails or playing checkers, it doesn't matter what they're doing. You've played something that's the right thing to play. It's the right vibe. What else would be that same vibe where you could keep this vibe going for as long as you could, kind of thing?
What was the other Kathy
what I was
Dennis
thinking.
song? It was All Night Long, and the other one,
What, Kathy Dennis?
Just Another Dream, was that?
Yeah, that was with Rick Astley, but she was also D-Mob and did Come and Get My Love,
What do you mean that
which I think was a better song.
Rick Astley was in that? Just Another
Rick Astley, is this for just another dream?
Wow.
Just another dream. And got
Yeah,
back there.
okay. Those are the two that,
I don't know if he was even credited, but it was all Stock Aitken Waterman stuff.
yeah.
So I believe, and he was a Stock Aitken Waterman artist.
I was trying
I
to
don't think
of-
D-Mob was, but Kathy Dennis solo was. She had one called Move to This. There was a few.
Yep.
Well, I say we wrap the show early. I say we did a good show.
Put a fork in it, will you?
Put a fork in it. So thank you to our sponsors, DJ Event Planner. You can check them out in the description of this video on YouTube, and a few of our other sponsors will be down there as well. So check them out too. Thank you for being one of our channel sponsors. Thank you for joining us tonight. We will see you next week, as long as John posts something, whenever, after this one, following this video. We don't know. Happy 2028.
28, maybe.
We're all going to live forever.
Might not
Merry
be.
Christmas. Happy 4th of
I won't
July.
be around in 28, but yes.